You know, it always kind of feels like you're putting yourself on the line when talking about these issues because the world slowly but surely is being conditioned to believe you should accept everything and question nothing. But I am so sorry, world. I am so sorry. I have a lot of questions to ask you, and the biggest one on my mind right now is, when are we going to leave the kids alone? America is facing a huge problem right now, which means, as you all know, it will become the rest of the West's problem bars. But the huge problem America is facing right now is the growing narrative that kids should be exposed to grown men dressing up as women and performing in front of them whilst wearing pretty much nothing, all in the name of basically being progressive, and we should accept everybody for who they are. Now, I don't have an issue with what you do in your spare time, my friend. You know what? Knock yourself out. I couldn't care less. But the one thing I do care about, and many other families are starting to worry about, is the fact their kids are watching grown men dance in front of them. And once you take away the narrative that these people are not women and look at it for what it is, you are watching people are allowing their kids to be exposed to grown men, middle-aged men, dancing in front of them, sometimes wearing nothing. Now already I hear the lefty liberals screaming at their phone, disagreeing with me, calling me every single name under the sun. But please, for me, well, it might be you, calm down. Let's just all take a breather and listen to what I have to say, okay? Let's start at the one place where I thought this would never happen. The one place where teachings and values are meant to be respected. Well, a Methodist church, yes, I know it's now in the churches, invited a drag queen to lead a child sermon, which this article has labelled as the death of dying United Methodism. But the senior pastor, Andy Oliver, has defended his decision, saying he wants all people to see people like themselves called by God to preach the gospel. Okay. He then goes on even further to defend his decision, and boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is the craziest part. He goes on to say that the drag queen in a wig and sequin dress was an angel in heels appearing to shepherds in the fields on the night shift, telling them that good news had arrived on their doorstep. What? You know, I've really sat here for a long time and thought to myself, what can I say about this part? But I don't really need to say much apart from the fact, imagine if this was a mosque, you know, where the practicing religion isn't being completely decimated by the media, influencers, and everybody in the West. Do you think they would get away with it? No, because they don't make up and change rules as they go along that have been around for thousands and thousands of years. But the churches are one thing. The schools, however, are a completely different ball game, and in my opinion, and I'm not alone in saying this, it's becoming quite dangerous. You see, schools, right, are supposed to be about the only safe place for kids where they can't really be affected by political agendas and brainwashing, and the left have now realized this because more and more adults are rejecting their idea of what is normal and what is not. So they've now decided to target the kids because you can literally tell them anything because they are young and impressionable and will believe pretty much anything that comes out of your mouth at this point. So as the months go by, and it seems to have accelerated this year for whatever reason, if people can let me know, I would be glad to find out. But as the months go by, more and more schools are inviting drag queens to perform in front of these kids, and not in a non-PG fashion, in quite a scandalous way. Yep, this is definitely part of the curriculum. Now, there will still be some people who have watched that video and will still sit there and say, well, what's the issue? Shouldn't kids be learning about what's going on in the world and what's progressive? Okay, you're entitled to that opinion. I'm not going to take it away from you, but I think we can all agree kids should not be watching music videos in their spare time of, I don't know, Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. So what's the difference in these drag queens dressing up as women and performing in front of your kids? Oh yes, because we're told it's stunning and it's brave for men to dance around half naked. Can you see the hypocrisy in this whole thing? And let's just briefly touch on this newest article that's going around exposing a middle school teacher who, by the way, is a drag queen in their spare time in Alabama. Fox News have revealed that this Alabama teacher who doubles as a drag queen in free time tells children everybody loves a big bone. See, if a man who wasn't dressed as a woman said that, he'd be arrested. James Miller, a teacher at Mountain Gap Middle School in Huntsville, Alabama, operates the Facebook page Majesty Divine, Miss Majesty Divine, where he frequently posts pictures of himself attending drag events such as Drag Queen Storytime. At one Drag Queen Storytime that was hosted at Hard Knocks Rescue and Training Inc., an animal rescue organization, Miller made a comment while reading a book about a dog that hid its bone, saying in front of a group of children, "Everybody loves a big bone." Just imagine what this man is saying in front of his classes whilst nobody's watching and nobody's listening. You see, it is very concerning to me as a 25-year-old who, by the way, I don't have a family, I don't have children, but even for me, it's concerning to see this being promoted in schools and now dog shelters. But what is even more concerning to me is the fact there are parents out there who will willingly take their children to these events where these drag queens will open their legs and twerk. Now, I will say, okay, you gave birth to your children. You're paying for your children. You're raising your children. You're entitled to take your children where you see fit and not accept what others are telling you. Funnily enough, the parents that don't agree with it have to apparently accept it, but that's neither here or there. But I just ask you one question. If you're a parent right now and you're taking your kids to these sort of shows, which I've already said you're entitled to do so, but in your heart of hearts, go stare in the mirror and look at your own soul. Do you really think it's acceptable for you to take your children to shows where men, remember these are men, middle-aged men, dancing half naked, twerking, opening their legs for all children to see? A child literally walked past that. He walked past that like it was a normal thing. Now, I would never take my kids to one of these events. But if I was at an event somewhere and I was surprised by a drag queen who was half naked, I would have no issue going home. And it would be the same if it was a biological woman, because I do not believe kids whatsoever should be exposed to this sort of thing of this sort of nature. And as we go on, as the years go by, everything that kids watch, everything that kids consume is becoming more and more. Now, I could get into why that is, but don't you think it's a bit disgusting that kids are being exposed, whether it is a biological woman, whether it's a drag queen, to people who are basically half naked? I'll leave that up to you. And again, I have to reiterate, because in today's world, people only listen to what they want to hear these days. I have to reiterate, I do not care what you do in your spare time. I do not care if you perform in front of adults, because those adults have made the conscious decision to watch you, not children. Okay, I have an issue with children being targeted in all means, because children are the future of this world. And just because you chose a different path in life, which you're more than welcome to do so, but allow families, allow parents to disagree with you when you try and propagate your worldviews on those children. Leave the kids alone. Now, I could go on and show you many more examples of people being recorded and performing in front of children, because there are more and more videos every single day. But that would be a waste of time, because in my opinion, one video is enough. And if you still sitting there right now, if you're still here, which I don't think a lot of people will if they disagree with me, because people get offended and click off. But if you're still here and you disagree with me and you still can't see the issue of kids being exposed to this, which that's fine, it's your opinion, I'm not going to counsel you for it. You're entitled to say and do what you want. Go ahead. But in my opinion, and this is what this whole video is, right? My opinion, you're truly lost. But that is the end of the video, ladies and gentlemen. If you have enjoyed today, then please for me, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that big red subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. But until next time, until tomorrow, it has been your boy JD. Make sure to have a great day. Stay safe. I'm out. Peace. See you next time.